I have made some notes on an anatomy topic, and this is a video that will help you to remember the structures that are derived from the pharyngeal arches. So I know this is a bit difficult topic to remember, and actually the anatomy is difficult to remember. So I have made a mnemonic type notes, and let's get started. First of all, you have to remember the nerves that is supplying the specific pharyngeal arch. Starting with the first pharyngeal arch, the mandibular nerve, that is the cranial nerve 5, the third division of the fifth nerve, cranial nerve 5, that is trigeminal nerve, has 3 divisions, and the third one is the mandibular nerve. So all the structures will be innervated with the mandibular nerve. You have to remember a little story that imagine you have been to a restaurant, and the first thing after sitting there and ordering the food, you will eat that food. Of course, you will taste that food. So actually you will masticate. So the first pharyngeal arch is related to the mastication. Then the second pharyngeal arch is related to the smile, because facial muscle, because when you taste something delicious, you smile. And the third one is related to the swallow, and then you swallow that food and swallow stylishly. And the last one is divided into two, like fourth pharyngeal arch and the sixth pharyngeal arch, because the fifth one doesn't develop into something major. So the fourth one is also swallow, and the last, that is the sixth pharyngeal arch, is act cool by speaking stylishly. It's something like that, like you masticate or you eat the food, and then you smile, and then you swallow stylishly, and then swallow, like simply swallow. And the last one is the act cool by speaking stylishly. Okay, now first pharyngeal arch, the cartilages, all that is, first of all, that will help you in mastication. So maxillary process, or you can say that mastication starts with the M. So a lot of things are starting with the M. So maxillary process and the mandibular process. Now maxillary process has maxilla and zygomatic bone. Mandibular process has, of course, mandible and macal cartilage. So you have to remember that the first pharyngeal arch has macal cartilage. Similarly, the second pharyngeal arch has the Richard cartilage. You can remember it, first pharyngeal arch. Now the third one is the malleus, and if you remember, the 3 cartilages are in the ear: mis, malleus, incus, and stapes. So stapes is here, and malleus and incus both are here. Now the fifth one is the sphenomandibular ligament. Mandible, just remember sphenomandibular ligament. Okay, now coming to the muscles. First of all, muscles of mastication. We are here for the mastication now. What are the muscles of the mastication? Temporalis, masseter, lateral and medial pterygoid. Now other one is starting with the M, mylohyoid. Now these two, okay, you can remember it by you ate and you drink Milo, mylohyoid. Now 2 tensor are there, tensor tympani and tensor villi palatini. And these two, how you will remember that 2/3 of the tongue and anterior belly of digastric is arising from this first arch. You have to remember that you need a tongue to masticate, and then you also need a stomach, gastric, to get that food inside that stomach. So 2/3 of the tongue and anterior belly of digastric. Okay, revising it: temporalis, masseter, lateral and medial pterygoid, mylohyoid, tensor tympani and tensor villi palatini, the 2 tensor, 2/3 of tongue, anterior belly of digastric. Coming to the second pharyngeal arch, you have to remember that it is supplied by the facial nerve, cranial nerve 7. Now most of the cartilages and bones are starting with the S, smile S. Okay, now stapes, the remaining one of the malleus, incus, and stapes. Then styloid, process of temporal bone. Similarly, the maxillary process, the mandibular process, here the styloid process. And then another one is hyoid process, the lesser horn only. You remember that the lesser, 2 is lesser than the 3, that. So that's why hyoid, lesser horn, is from the second pharyngeal arch, and the greater horn is from the third pharyngeal arch. Then stylo and hyoid, mix that up, stylohyoid ligament. Okay, if you remember styloid and hyoid, you will remember that stylohyoid ligament. And Richard cartilage, you know that only one cartilage that is coming, you know, that's unique one is in this section. Now the muscles. Stapedius related to the stapes. These muscles are the stapedius and the platysma, and this stylohyoid ligament, so the stylohyoid muscle also. Now the anterior belly of digastric was in the first section, so the posterior belly of digastric is in the next section. And the muscles of facial expression that are used for smile. So now stapedius, platysma is something unique. You have to remember platysma. Stylohyoid coming from this stylohyoid, posterior belly of digastric, anterior belly of digastric, and facial expression for smiling. Now the third pharyngeal arch is supplied by the glossopharyngeal nerve or cranial nerve 9. So you have to remember. Now the third one we already remember that the second one has the hyoid lesser horn, and the third one the greater horn of the hyoid. And stylopharynges, the mnemonic we, or the stat story, we remember that swallow stylishly. So pharynx is used, pharynx for swallow and stylo for stylish. So stylopharynges, the only thing from the third pharyngeal arch. And the last one, fourth pharyngeal arch, is supplied by the superior laryngeal nerve, and the sixth pharyngeal arch is supplied by the inferior laryngeal or the recurrent laryngeal. Fourth superior and sixth inferior. Now the cartilages that are derived from fourth and sixth pharyngeal arches, both from fourth and sixth, are the cool, ACCCT. A for arytenoid, cricoid, corniculate, cuneiform, and thyroid. They all are together, that, and thyroid. Now from the fourth pharyngeal arch, pharyngeal constrictors, swallow. So most of the constrictors in the pharynx, or most of the pharyngeal constrictors, pharynx for swallow, then levator villi palatini, elevate the palate to swallow. So levator, elevate, and then cricothyroid. This is the only cricothyroid. How will you remember that here? The sixth pharyngeal arch is gonna make all intrinsic muscles of larynx except cricothyroid. So we made a mnemonic that speak. So act cool by speaking stylishly. So act cool by speaking. So speaking means all the muscles that are used in speaking, for the larynx. So all intrinsic muscles of larynx except cricothyroid, because this cricothyroid is arising from the fourth pharyngeal arch. So I hope that will help you a lot, because this is a really easier way to remember this anatomical topic. If you like that, please like and subscribe the channel. Thank you.